We are back with another case study. I have clients that have $1 million and $2 million and 5 and 10 million and 500,000. And I've done multiple case study videos and you've all told me they've been very helpful. So today we're going to take it one step further. I'm actually going to do a specific case study for someone who just sent me an email after watching a YouTube video of mine. So I'm going to show you guys that exact email and then we're going to hop right in. If you don't already know, I am Taublieb. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast. I'm a certified financial planner and I'm the vice president here at Root. I love the idea that you can retire early and spend more time doing what's most important to you, but I also do not want you to retire too early. So I almost call myself sometimes the meanest early retirement planner because I do not want you to retire too early and be kicking yourself going, why didn't I work 6 more months or 1 more year or even 2 more years so I could spend a whole lot more and actually enjoy my retirement. So yes, I am the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, but no, I do not want you to retire too early. So let's hop right in so that you guys can have complete confidence when you determine it makes sense for you to retire early. Let's do it. So this is the email I received, and this is from Jonathan. I am going to zoom in to make it larger for all of you. And here's what Jonathan says here. I did not put his last name here, just for security purposes, but Jonathan, I don't know if you were intentionally saying I'd hope you use my name, but I'm just going to be safe here. Ari, I've enjoyed watching your videos. My wife and I are thinking about an early retirement this summer. I'm 55, she's 53. I've been doing some research and following our progress in Empower and NewRetirement. I also have come to appreciate the RightCapital software and would love for you to use my situation as an example. I am a minister. I turned 55 in February. I have 500,000 in my 403b, which I can withdraw a set portion as a tax-free housing allowance in retirement, guessing about $18,000 a year. We also have 300,000 in pretax IRAs and 360 in a brokerage account, as well as 150,000 in cash. The IRAs and brokerage are invested with Fisher Investments. Nothing good or bad about Fisher. I'll talk about that in a moment. We're planning to sell our home and buy a house in a lower market with the proceeds, so we don't have a mortgage. Lovely. We want to spend $5,000 a month, also estimating $800 a month for health insurance. We'd love to have another $10,000 a year for travel, but not forever, just the first 10 years. We're thinking we will have to work part-time for 5 years, about $25,000 a year. What I can't figure out is how to model the tax implication savings of the tax-free withdrawal from my 403b. If you'd be willing to model something like this, I haven't seen anyone else do it on YouTube. I'm sure there are other ministers out there. Let's hop right in. So, wonderful question. Let's address that today. I tell everyone to understand what's called their RE number. And RE stands for recreational employment, which is essentially when is the time where you're truly only working because you want to, not because you have to. And so some people think it's $1 million. Some people think it's 5 million or 10 million, and they're all wrong. And here's why. If you have $500,000, but you have a pension that covers all of your needs, you might be able to retire just fine. If you have $10 million and you want to spend $30,000 a month, and a lot of you know this, but I'm from Malibu, California, okay? A lot of characters in Malibu. I'm putting that nicely, okay? So my clients know that, and they go, yeah, I think I'm the characters you're talking about. I go, you are, that's true. And they go, okay, I'm cool with it, and we're close at this point. But the idea here is if you want to spend $30,000 a month versus $5,000 a month, it makes a big difference here. So don't think that because you don't have 10 million, you can't retire early. Also, don't think that if you have 5 million, you're in an awesome spot to retire early. So with that being said, just want to kind of put that out of the way. Jonathan here does say that he's with Fisher Investments. Fisher, most of the time, the people that reach out to me, they're doing a good job of just the investing, but they're not doing every other aspect, the tax, the estate, the withdrawal strategy. And so a lot of people that do come to us, they're coming from Fidelity or Vanguard or Fisher or Empower, where it's good. It's just cookie cutter planning. Now, the sad truth is, and we're going to hop right in so Jonathan, you can see this example. The sad truth is I find a lot of people that are working at Fisher are actually doing a good job. And the reason I know that, and I know that they're competent, is because they're reaching out to us to work at Root because their firm's not allowing them to do the holistic planning services that we talk about. And so I've got another video that I'll put right here. So in case you guys want to see what I'm talking about as to how we do it and what makes us different, feel free to check that out. You might want to do so after, of course, this case study. So just putting that there as an option for all of you. Let's hop right in. Getting feedback from all of you that you watch a lot of these videos on your TV. So you're watching YouTube on your TV. Other people say you watch on your phone. So I'm trying to zoom in and out to make this as helpful as possible. There are a lot of tabs here. Jonathan, I just put John here, and I don't know your wife's name, but I put Jane here. So I just put a sample here, but I did take and I inputted all of this into RightCapital for you. RightCapital is great. There's a lot of softwares that I'll use. Nothing's magical about one over the other. We find actually sometimes I'll just use an Excel spreadsheet if I want to illustrate a certain point, but let's take your case here. So you said you have 150,000. I know it's just in cash right now, Jonathan. I know you might be earmarking this for investing or for, when you do move, some expenses, stuff like that. I'm just putting it in here. You did mention here that you have a 403b, of which there's about 500,000, IRAs of 300,000, brokerage of 360,000. So just putting that in here, about 1.1 million of just liquid assets. I'm taking a big estimate here. I could be totally off here, Jonathan. I'm saying you own a home worth 500,000, and actually I'm putting a loan here. I put 200,000 initially. I just kind of titled it 200,000 as a balance. It might be 100,000, it might be 150,000. I do not know, but I'm just showing you an example of, so that in the future, I'm going to show you what if we downsize and sell, how does that change the plan? So I could be totally off here, just taking an assumption here, interest rate, maybe 3.25, 3.75, might be 5%, might be 8%. I have no idea, but just putting some information in here. Don't let that analysis paralysis kill you. I'm using your assumptions here. So I'm saying, what if you guys just stopped working? And, I'm going to show the part-time income as you alluded to, but 55, 53, you guys are done. You want to spend 5,000 a month every single month in retirement. The reality is you're probably not going to spend 5,000 every single month, but want to just have that in here as a base. I'm putting in another 800 a month for health insurance, but not for forever. So this will stop at 65. So once Medicare kicks in, just kind of showing you the logic there. Travel, another 10,000 a month, a year, but just for the first 10 years. So this is what you had shared with me. In terms of income, the way I'm going to show you that 403b little kind of trick that I talk about, I don't know Social Security estimates for you guys. You didn't put that in there, but whether you want to collect at 62 or full retirement or 70, I'll do a separate meeting for my clients on that. This is how I'm going to do, and this is how I do it for my clients that either are in ministry or have a very similar situation. I'm going to do what's called take out $18,000. And what's going to happen is the taxation on this, Jonathan, is tax-free. So you can go ahead and make this the standard rule or penalty-free or tax-free. You can have the distribution. You can have an annual increase. To keep it really, really simple, I'm just saying you're taking $18,000 out of your 403b for that housing allowance, and that's completely tax-free. So the growth is still going to be tax deferred, but I want that $18,000 to come out every single year, and I want it to be tax-free until that 403b is gone. So just an example is how I like to illustrate that for my clients. Then I'll actually take an Excel spreadsheet and I'll actually show it in a simpler way. Software is great, but there's a lot of assumptions in here I don't love. So this is what I'll use to start. The number one thing you're wondering is, am I on track to do this? And there are some big variables here. So don't let any of this scare you, Jonathan. You're going to take a first look at this and go, oh my God, am I totally off? Can I not retire? That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is if you just totally stopped working, you spent $5,000 a month every single month, you spent $9,600 for health insurance until Medicare kicked in, another $10,000 a year on travel. You do have $18,000 coming out tax-free. You're doing that part-time income. This is what you're seeing. So you're seeing here we are today, and it looks like we're going to run out of money at about age 85, which is not a fun thing to see. One big variable here is I'm assuming moderate growth throughout retirement. I don't know. Do you have 70% equities? Do you have 80%? I don't believe in the cookie cutter process here. So what if you had 80% equities? I'm just going to refresh this just to show you what this could do. You could refresh that and it's like, oh my gosh, now we're on track for $1.3 million at 92. So a little variable here makes a big difference. Now I'm a very conservative planner. So I'll almost say, hey, well, maybe you have 70, 75% in equities. I think that is realistic throughout retirement for a lot of my clients. And so maybe it's not 1.3 million more dollars, maybe it's a few $100,000. And some of you are like, great, like I don't have many children. I don't want to die with too much money. Others are going, hey, that's too close for my comfort. Especially from a withdrawal rate perspective, it can be pretty high. They'll go, well, what if I did some more part-time income? So the first thing I'll do is I'll just say, what if, $25,000 a year, what if you did it for 5 more years? So right now you're planning on doing it for 5 years. Excuse me, Jonathan. From 25,000 a year, from 55 to 60. What if you want 60 to 65? How much does that change the plan if you did not shift the investments? And I show you this for a specific reason. I want you to show you the impact. It certainly helps, meaning what you're seeing is doing 5 more years of part-time work gets you essentially 5 more years or 6 more years, if you will, of living. But then I'll show clients, I'll go, what if you don't do that? No more part-time income. I'm not going to let you work anymore, John. In fact, I'm going to take it a step further. You can't even do any more work. 0 part-time income. You're like, oh my God, I'm not even planning on that. And that scares me. It looks like I'm going to run out of money at 80. I go, that's true. Unless you're open to investing a certain way. So let's go back to this. And I'm not recommending 80% equities. Just an example of the power of good investing is, well, now you actually stopped working and now you go, okay, as opposed to passing away at 85, it's now we're getting close to 90, not quite there. So if we invest well and we do part-time income, maybe even 15,000 a year. Let's not say 25,000 a year. Well, then we're pretty close where you can see, yes, we're close. There's $400,000 left over, but is that enough for you to actually do everything you want to do? And some clients go, it's not. And so the truth is, I just want to see, what if I spend 4,500 a month in retirement instead of 5,000? What does that $500 a month do? And it makes a pretty big difference. And so we tell clients, yeah, the difference here of $2.5 million more dollars from shifting this from spending 5,000 a month to 4,500, big variables here. So I'm not saying go spend 4,500 a month. I'm saying understand exactly how much you want to spend so you can live your dream life. Now, I'm always going to reset this. Let's put this back to the base case so you guys can see how I think through this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm almost going to show you, what if you do a primary home relocation? So what we're going to do is we're going to assume that you move, Jonathan, and you don't have to move, of course, but you said, hey, that's something that is on our radar here. So this is a cool scenario that I'll do for my clients. So say, hypothetical move. Obviously, it is a hypothetical, so redundant here, but just putting it in to emphasize. Let's assume you buy something. And I don't know, 300,000 seems low, and I don't know what part of the country you're in, but 400,000, is that realistic? Depends on a few different factors. If you're in California or Illinois, or I don't know where you are. But just hypothetical, you buy a new home, and we're just going to assume you're just going to pay for it all. So down payment, 100%. You're going to walk away with that equity in your property. You're going to sell your current home immediately. And we're just going to keep it simple there. Now, the truth is there's going to be property taxes. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And so people look at this and they'll kind of go to this hypothetical move and go, oh my God, this looks awesome. Like I'm going to have 1.8 million more dollars. And what they don't do is factor in some other stuff in here. So other stuff, for example, whether it's 300,000 or 400,000, I'd want you to model that out more. And I want to have a deeper conversation. But if we just go 1% property taxes here, annual insurance, the same, it probably is not. Maintenance, I don't know, $2,000. And once again, we save that. Yes, there's going to be a change to the plan here. You're going to see, of course, there are fewer dollars, and it actually makes a bigger difference than you think. Most people go, oh my God, well, there's some big variables here. It showed $1 million plus, and now it shows I'm not even making it to 90. And so the point here is, are you in a spot to move and buy a place, for 400,000, or is it 300,000? And once again, I'm in no business of rosy pictures, so I just want you to retire with total confidence. And you can make a little tweak like that, and you go, well, now we're okay, but we're not in the dream home. So you know what? We'd rather spend a little bit less, or you know what? We're going to travel, but what if we did 8 years instead of 10 years? And so always maneuvering this so that you guys can just go live your dream life. One thing I do want to talk about are those AUM fees. So Fisher Investments charges, from what I find, normally about 1.25%. It could be 1.25%, could be 1.2%. Let's just assume it's 1.2%. We always want to refresh that just so that that's included in the planning here. Yes, there's fewer dollars. It doesn't mean don't use Fisher, because their guidance could be well worth it if they're helping you navigate through the tax, through the estate, through all those different aspects that I talk about here. What I find more often than not is that they're not quite doing that. So if you don't know already, this is just quick full scope of our services. It's not just the investment management. It is saying, what about the tax and the purpose and the insurance and the estate, the withdrawal strategy? So just make sure that if you are paying that AUM fee, that you are getting significant value for it. My parents were burned by 4 financial advisors, and so it's the reason I even became an advisor. It doesn't mean AUM fees are bad. In fact, we charge through an AUM model because we find it's best for our clients. It doesn't mean we're 100% right or 100% wrong. We just find it's the most effective way to work with our clients, and our fee is lower than this. Doesn't mean hire us just because it's lower than this, but just an example here. Fees, certainly you want to incorporate them, and if they're helping you out through good tax and estate and withdrawal, then in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to pay the fee. But if they're only doing the investment piece and saying, hey, maybe have this allocation, maybe not giving you Social Security, and what if we wanted to move, and what about health insurance and subsidies and Roth conversions? That's where I start to go, I'm not so sure it's worth it. So not showing you this to scare you, showing you there's a lot of variables here, Jonathan. Hopefully that this was helpful. I've got a few follow-up points for you. Jonathan, hopefully you're still with me and you didn't fall asleep. That's how I know if I'm doing a good job. What you're going to see here, this is the cash flow sheet. So you can see here, this is just a sample. Like, let's assume you retire and you don't no income for 2024, which is not the case. I know you're going to bring in 25,000 a year. I was just showing what if you did 5 years or 10 years. And so all of this, don't kind of get lost too much in these numbers here, but this was me showing a hypothetical of part-time income for you, maybe even doing 1 year with a little bit more, just variables here. 18,000 a year, those are distributions coming from your 403b, but they're tax-free. I'm showing, yeah, you sell your home, you maybe buy another property, no tax implications for you for that. You want to spend 5,000 a month, but then there's also 10,000 for travel and other fun stuff. Don't forget about taxes. So there's a lot that goes to this, but when I'm looking at this for my clients, I want to make sure they're not close to running out of money, that those RMDs aren't going to be excessive, and that's that plan distributions column. So lots of good planning points. I'll live here for a lot of my clients, but the premise here, if we go into this, Jonathan, like, you do have the pieces to make it happen. What we really want to dive into, which in my opinion, not enough people do, is the health insurance aspect. Making sure that 5,000 a month would allow you to do everything you want to do, making sure that when you do move, you are going to a property you're excited about. I want you doing travel. So I really like that included in here, actually. What I'd want to take a deeper dive with you specifically on is how are your investments allocated to create this income? Because 80% in equities, for some people, they go, hey, I just couldn't sleep at night. But assuming that I'm invested the right way, I'm okay with that. And some more part-time income, I'm open to doing that. What I don't want to have happen is that you actually kind of look at this and go, oh my gosh, I got to invest this way and I got to do this and all these different things. And then all of a sudden you go, okay, even with all that, am I not okay? Because the truth is, you can always work a little bit more. You could do part-time income of 50,000 a year. You could travel less. But the point here, I don't want you to live a sad life. I want you to live an awesome life, because you might not want to die with $1.8 million. That might not be your goal. So really getting clear on what's most important to you so that you retire with total confidence. That's what I want. Jonathan, I hope this was helpful for you. If any of you are going, wow, this was exactly what I wanted to see. Now, it wasn't, of course, the detail of Roth conversions and health insurance versus Roth conversions and be able to quantify the impact. It wasn't me going through what's the best Social Security strategy. It wasn't me going through an insurance checklist that I'll do for my clients, or how I view estate planning and how to gift to children over time. There's a lot that I did not go over because I don't want to make this a 3-hour video. I could, and maybe I will one day. But for now, I just want to kind of give you kind of my 2 cents on this. For those of you that are going, yeah, I want a custom strategy, I want help with this, I don't want to read tax law in retirement, reach out. This is what we love to do. We want to help create a custom strategy for you. If you're going, hey, I just kind of want to see a case study of my individual situation, I will not be able to get to everybody. And some of you did shoot me an email, and I'm not ignoring you. I did receive your email, and I will reply to you, and I promise, get to that. Even if it's with general guidance, I love what I do, so that's why I do it. You can shoot me an email at ari@rootfinancialpartners.com. Other than that, you can see there's a link in the description of today's video, and that is where you can apply to work with us. We do bring on a limited number of clients every month, just to make sure we are prioritizing those that are eager to move forward and preserving the quality of our services. If we brought on 100 people every month, we could do it, but it wouldn't be good. So we want to make sure we're being strategic as to how we do this. So hopefully this was helpful for you, Jonathan. If you have any questions about this, of course, shoot me a note back. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you.